let's have a look at our assignment to better understand difference between having employment, receiving salary, or being self-employed or freelancer, and the third one, being a business owner. Let's look at this story. Mariam needs to make a decision. What's the best path for her? She is English tutor, let's say she lives in Cape Town, South Africa. She really loves teaching English, but she needs to understand what's the best way to build her career. Should she just work for someone else, so basically have employment, or she must become self-employed, her own boss, or maybe she should start a business and start hiring others. Now, she already knows the difference between being employee, working for someone else, or being self-employed, working herself, doing the work, or building business. That means making others do the main work, and her job will be running the business. Okay, not that much teaching, but running the business. Now she is uncertain, she's confused, she wants to know what's the financial aspects of this decision. And let's say Mariam approached you, she asked you for advice, and to answer her question, we need to look how money she's going to make, what's gonna be her profit in each of these scenarios. Working for someone else, working for herself, and making others work for her. For this, before we start, quick money terms. We have revenue, we have expenses, we have profit. What's revenue? Revenue, all the money coming in. That's all the money that Mariam or her business, if she will launch one, all the money received from students who are paying for the lessons. Then we have expenses. Expenses is the opposite. All the money came out, all the money going out that Mariam or her business has to spend in order to operate. For example, rent, marketing, to acquire customers, to find students, and to pay salaries to others in case she will be hiring people. So expenses, all the money spent. And then profit is the difference. That's the money left over after taking the revenue and paying all the expenses. That's what you actually get. That's before taxes. We're not putting taxes in here. So formula how to calculate profit, you take revenue and you subtract or deduct expenses. Now, let's have a look at some numbers that we have to use for calculations. We assume that student pays for one lesson 300 South African rand. The duration of one lesson is 1 hour. Now, Mariam's share or pay share when she's an employee, she takes 50% of the price of a lesson. Also, if she will be hiring someone else, we assume that she will pay her employee also 50%, 1/2 of the price of a lesson. Now, if Mariam is not going to work for someone else, if she wants to be her own boss, she will have to pay operating cost on a monthly basis, also known as overhead costs here. Now, that's gonna be 1,000 for basic admin duties, 5,000 rental, and 1,500 for marketing. Now, and in terms of workload, if we assume that she has a normal full-time job, it's gonna be 90 lessons or 90 hours of work per month. But if it's gonna be extremely busy, maximum possible workload, we will say it's gonna be 120 lessons per month. So let's help her calculate profit for different scenarios. Let's start with scenario 1, that Mariam is an employee, she's not running her own business, she works in a language school. Then she will be teaching 90 lessons a month. Now here, school takes care of everything. School finds the students, provides place to teach, materials, everything. All the admin work is done. Mariam is only focused on teaching. And she gets 50% of the lesson price for every lesson she is teaching. So 2 questions. Question number 1, how much money does Mariam herself personally make every month? This will, in other words, what is her profit in this scenario? Second question for this scenario, just out of curiosity, how much revenue does the school make in total from the 90 lessons that Mariam teaches? And then, how much school keeps after paying Mariam her half? That's scenario 1. Now let's go to scenario 2, that Mariam becomes self-employed. Now let's say she left the school, and let's say she finds her own students and she keeps teaching 90 lessons per month. Now she has to rent a small space, she has to pay for marketing as well as admin costs. First question, how much money Mariam collects from her students in total? So calculate the revenue. Second one, what are her total monthly expenses? Remember, it's admin, it's rent, and it's marketing. And the third one, what is her profit? How much money left after Mariam takes revenue and deducts all the expenses? Then we have scenario 3. What if Mariam is working not just full-time, but almost 24/7? Now she is going to teach 120 lessons per month as a self-employed person. Her costs stay the same. Now calculate again revenue, expenses, and profit. How much money she collects, what are the expenses, and then profit. Now what will be the profit in this scenario? And fourth scenario, probably the most interesting for many, Mariam wants to be a business owner. Now she stops teaching herself and she hires another tutor to work for her small, new growing business. And that tutor works exactly the same way like she would work if she would be working for someone else. Teaching 90 lessons per month. Mariam is now not teaching but managing the business, and she pays the teacher 50% share. And now she still has to cover the cost because she is now managing the business. Questions again. Revenue, expenses, profit. How much business now, not Mariam per se, but business as a company collects from all the students that are being taught by the teacher she hired. Second one, what's the business total expenses? And the third one, profit. Now how much money business makes after taking the revenue and deducting the expenses, paying the teacher and paying monthly operating expenses. Now, after you've done the calculation, you have to help Mariam. She needs to see a bigger picture because she needs to decide what will be her decision. So, first of all, compare Mariam's profit for every of the 4 scenarios: working for someone else, being self-employed in a normal workload, being self-employed maximum workload, and then starting her own small business. Look at it and tell her which out of these 4 options makes her the most money right now, like immediately, if this is happening now, purely based on these numbers. And now compare it and find which one makes the less money, again, right now, assuming that this will be the numbers. First thing. Second one, now try to see a bigger picture. Don't look at it just at the profit right now. Think about pro and contra, for and against, which are not financial, for each of these options for Mariam. For example, think about how hard she will be working when she takes each of these 4 options. How much freedom she will have. What are the risks? Which one is the safest one and which one has more risk in this of these 4 scenarios? And also think another advantages and disadvantages of each of these 4 scenarios. And now imagine you have looked at the numbers, you have calculated, and you have compared all of these 4 scenarios from financial gain, and secondly, non-financial aspects of for and against, pro and contra. And imagine Mariam tells you, what would you do in this situation? And now consider everything what you have discovered before and think, what would be your decision? Which path seems like a good choice, and answer why.